Okay, so good evening, everyone. In the last lecture, we had discussed about the stream computing, advantage of this stream computing, disadvantage of the stream computing, and what are the challenges with this stream computing. For example, storage is one of the challenge. Processing of the stream is one of the challenge. For example, if you'll find out that a simple example can be if I want to analyze that during the any sale from an e-commerce company, they will find that certain online purchases is come to the on the server due to heavy discount. So how can you handle this type of things, and how can you identify from the data stream that why this certain online purchases is going to affect the server? So maybe sometimes you're not expecting from the your application, but your application will uh, witness a sudden increase in the users. So how can you identify in a real time? That is a one problem. Suppose another problem can be how many new logins in a past week. So these are the few problems. A real time example, you can analyze the data stream is being generated from your application, and based on that analysis you can answer these queries. So the stream computing is nowadays used for to analyze in every domain, whether it is a business domain, whether it is a political domain, social domain, economical domain. So every domain is somehow benefited from data analytics in computing. So there are few applications which is developed using this computing. So we have also discussed these applications developed by the IBM, ATI technologies, and so on. Now, we'll go for the sampling data in a stream. So why do we require to sample a data? Uh, because if you talk about a stream, then you will find out that a stream is a large amount of information. So it's not possible that we can store all the data from the past. So what is happening that if you are trying to store all those information, so first thing you will have a storage problem, because storing a large amount at a one time is not feasible. And second thing that you are going to face a problem in processing, because at a one time with a given computing capacity you can process a certain amount of information. There should not be a process which can process a big data at once. So you have to divide the big data into a smaller information, a smaller chunk of data, then you will apply the second, third one, for example, if you are having e-commerce data, now you want to analyze that how this data, how the users are behaving for the new product launches, or for the online sales, for the discount offered by the company. So you have to analyze all this information in real time, because suppose you have some data coming from the server and you are analyzing that data after a certain time interval. So it is of no use, because suppose a company has given a discount at a sharp 12 a.m. So what happened? You have to analyze the data which is being generated at that particular real time. If you are not analyzing that data, if you are analyzing that data after certain interval of time, maybe in the morning or in the afternoon, so that data is of no use. So basically, we have to find out the answers which is searched by the businesses, individuals, or groups within seconds, so that it can be beneficial to the businesses. If you're not finding the answer from a data sheet in a second, then it is of no use to the businesses, because mostly businesses are analyzing their real-time data, and they are taking the decision based on that. They are offering the discount, they are offering the sales based on that particular data. So again, it's not possible that we can analyze the whole information. So we have to analyze a sample of data. Now it also depend on that how what do you mean by a sample? How can you find out that particular sample is size should be okay for your application? So it can be depend on the various factor, but normally as a data stream analytics, we'll take a 1/10 of the stream as a sample. So whatever the stream is there, we'll take a 1/10 of that data so that we can get an idea about it. It is also possible that maybe particular sample is not favorable to the your desired request. Maybe another sample, certain different samples have a different properties, but by the rule, we should take a 1/10 of the data as a sample. So, for example, you want to process some purchase from some sample of data. So, suppose you are analyzing a e-commerce data, and there are live streaming is coming to you for analysis, and there are certain purchases which is in the form of data is provided to you. Now you have to analyze those purchases. So now it is also possible that if you're analyzing a sample, it will give you a different point of view about the purchases, and another sample will give you a different point of view about the purchases. For example, if you are analyzing e-commerce data for a duration in a morning duration, so maybe the purchase of item is less in the morning time, but maybe users are placing the user are preferring to place the order in the evening time. So what is possible that in a morning phase you have a low purchases, while in the evening phase you have high purchases. Now when you are selecting your sample, you have to be very careful that to incorporate these factors while you're analyzing your samples of data. So now, uh, we cannot store the entire string. So one approach is to store a sample. So we can take a fixed size sample. We can also take a flexible size sample. So if you are taking a fixed size sample, we'll take a 1/10 of the string, and we should maintain a random sample of fixed sizes, so that we should not be biased toward to any activity within the organization. For example, as we had discussed that maybe order placed by the users in the morning is less compared to the order placed in the evening. So if you are analyzing only sample which is generating in the morning, so you are biasing towards certain constraint, and you are not going to get a favorable uh, outcome from your data. So what should have to do? You have to analyze both samples. You have to analyze morning samples and you have to analyze evening samples. And based on that, you can create a collection of samples and you can analyze them and find out the useful information. Now, so sampling data in a stream, first part is a sampling fixed proportion. So for example, how can you take a fixed proportion sampling? For example, if you are having a search engine query system, so you can find out that when we are dealing with the search engine, we are dealing with the various factors. For example, users, how many users are searching that particular request, what are the queries which is being asked by the users, or what are the query which is fed to the search engine, and what is the time required, or what are the time they have requested for the query. So you can keep these all information as a one set, and you can call it a tuple. So One information can contain users information, query information, and the time information. So by analyzing such type of creating such type of tuple and analyzing the information, you can find out that uh, what are the analytic analysis of the query. For example, if you talk about the recent pandemic, so there are various search pattern is found on the Google. For example, everyone is curious about that what is status of pandemic, how is it going to last, what are the different medication available, what is the vaccine status available. As a student, as a faculty, we are very concerned about the government policies, what will be the government policies, how they are going to uh, take a decision for the education and so on. So we can find out that we are generating or firing this query using the search engine, whether it is a Google, Yahoo, or other search engine. So you will find out that these query can be another way to analyze the system. So you or Google system can analyze how many users are requesting for the same query, what are the frequency of that particular request within a day, within a week, within a month. So you can, if you go to the Google trend analysis, you will find out based on the search query, based on the keyword, which keywords have a higher ranking, which search query has a higher ranking for a what time. So based on that analysis, you can find out that users are very concerned about certain pandemic activity in the month of August. They will have a different point of view in the month of September and so on. Next point is you have to space to store 1/10 of the queries string. So when you are designing a sample fixed type proportion, you have to be very sure how can you store this information. So there are solutions for it. One is generate a random integer for each query and store the query if the integer is zero, otherwise discard. So for each query, you will take a random number and you will assign that number to the query, and you will store only that query which is having a zero number. Otherwise, you will discard the query. So based on that, you can sample the query with how many queries you are going to store for the analysis. But this is a very common way approach. There are certain advanced approach available where you can define that which query should be stored, which query should not be stored, and so. So, what about the sample users? So, we'll take the 1/10 of the user, take all their searches in the sample. So, these are the few examples of tackling the data stream analysis. Now, we are not aware about the length of the stream in advance. Why? Because it is an infinite data, so it is being generated from the server. Whether we will talk about the Google, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you will find out that they are generating the data continuously. So it's not like that their server will generate the content, then they will be ideal. They are generating the content without any. So you are not very sure about what will be the length of the stream in advance. So when we are sampling a fixed size sample, we have to go for the following constraint. A random sample as of size exactly as tuples. So we have to find out a random sample. So as we had discussed earlier that how can you take the random sample? You can take any random number and you will assign to samples, and then based on that you can apply some logic. Apart from that, you can develop your own random sampling techniques. So there are various algorithms available for that. You can take the help of those algorithms to find out the random sample. Uh, but whatever the size of all the sample, that should be exactly same. So you have to be very sure when you are dealing with a fixed size sample. For example, main memory size constraint. So you have to also take care about what are the different memory size available to you. So let us discuss one algorithm for the sample of a fixed size sample, which is a reservoir sample. The first step in the algorithm is store all the first S element of the string to S, and for the nth element arrives if n is greater than S. With probability S by n, keep the nth element, else discard it. With probability S by n, the nth element, it replaces one of the S element in the S conformity at random. So what is happening here? You are taking a stream which is of S. So you are representing a stream with the capital S. Now you're taking the first S element. S is the number of the element. So you are taking that particular tuples of particular stream. Now you will identify that nth element arrive in the S. So it n can be your first element, and can be your asset element, or it can be greater than asset also. So when you are finding an element which is out of this S, means it is out of this sample fixed size of S, then you will analyze the probability of S by n. What is the probability of S given to n? And you will keep the nth element if that probability is okay. Otherwise, you will discard. And with the probability as the S by n, the nth element, if replaces one of the S element in the sample, is fixed uniformity at random. So you can follow this step to create your sample size by using the reservoir sampling. Now, we'll discuss about the filtering history. So when we are have taken a sample, now we have to discuss about how can we found out the useful information from that particular sampling. For example, when you are dealing with the stream, you want to identify some information. For example, you have to identify that how many times are users logging in the system, and what is the highest number of logins so far, what is the highest number of queries being searched by the users, and what are the most trending topic in the session. And if you talk about the e-commerce website, then you can analyze the user's behavior during the sales. You can analyze the user behavior when you are offering any discount to your them. So these are the few things you have to deal with when you are working with the data stream. Now you have a sample of data stream. Now you have to apply the filtering. So filtering, as the name suggests, we are trying to find out the useful information by applying some searching and finding some useful information. So uh, when we are working with the filtering stream, we have to select the setup element with property f from given stream. For example, suppose we want to find out that for a given email messages, what are the email messages which is a spam message? So how can you identify a spam message from a given email message? Guys, please respond in the chat box. How can we identify spam message from a given email message? Am I audible to everyone? Okay, then. At least, guys, please post one or two responses in the chat box so that I can find out that you are uh, and getting the topic. because
Okay, sir.
now we have, yes, please.
Sir, can you please repeat the question, sir?
Guys, assume that you are having a stream of data and which is generated from Gmail server. So you have a continuous stream of email coming from the server, and you have to pass the data to the individual users. Now you are not an individual users, you are a middleman who are taking the all the data which is generated from Gmail server or from any other email server, and now it is coming to you. Now you have to analyze the information which is spam email from that amount, that email. So how can you identify that? Are you getting my question? Should I explain it again?
Okay, sir.
Okay, let me draw some diagram. So maybe you will get a better idea. One moment. Okay, is the paint is visible to everyone?
No, sir.
Oh, one moment.
No, sir,
Now,
not visible.
now,
Yes, sir, visible.
now. Okay.
Yes.
So, suppose what I'm trying to say here. Let me write here. Suppose we have a Gmail server. We have a.
Not visible to me.
Is it visible to anyone?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Who is not able to view the paint?
No,
N- Nippon, is it visible?
sir.
Nippon, please use the chat box.
सर मुझे नहीं दिख रहा.
Not visible. Okay. So let me explain it verbally. So what I'm trying to do here, that you have multiple servers. है ना? When suppose when we are opening a Gmail account, so what is happening here? We are getting the messages from a different email account. So there is a no restriction that your Gmail will accept the email from only the Gmail client. You can send the email to your Gmail account from your Yahoo account, your Outlook account, or whatever your official or account will be. You can use that and send the email to you. Now it is a responsibility of Gmail server and Gmail application that it will identify the spam email from all those emails. Okay. Now they have a large amount of information. So my question is that how can you identify that spam email from an email on a data stream? We know about the features that based on certain features or string matching, we can identify the spam email. But when we are dealing with stream of data for these emails, how can you identify a spam email? It's not necessary that you will give some correct answer. Just put your opinion uh, by unmuting yourself or by using the chat box so that we can get a better discussion around here.
Sir, if the message does not generate from an IP address,
Okay.
then it's considered as a spam message.
Okay, Mohammed. But suppose, okay, so you will identify the IP address and you will try to match that particular IP address in every email. Okay, that is a one approach. Okay. Another one can
Yes,
be
sir.
any other addition.
सर
Yes, Ayushi, please go ahead.
सर क्वेश्चन ये था कि जो सर्वर मतलब जीमेल का कोई भी सर्वर है वहाँ पे हर इंडिविजुअल का मेल आ रहा है, उस मेल से एक मिडलमैन एनालाइज कर रहा है कि कौन सा स्पैम है कौन सा नहीं है.
Yes.
तो सर सारे मेल में से हम कोई स्पैम, हर स्पैम में कोई एक ऐसा वर्ड होता है हर स्पैम में जिससे वो स्पैम आइडेंटिफाइड होता है। जैसे ज़्यादातर स्पैम में तो मनी के बारे में होता है कि अर्न मनी, फ्री मनी करके, या किसी में फ्री वर्ड ऐसा कुछ होता है तो हम आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं कि वो स्पैम है।
Okay. So, guys, you are
Can I
getting
add
the
something?
point. Yes, please.
Sir, we can classify mails as spam or not a spam mail on the basis of sir historical data, because after receiving a mail, there is always an option to spam it or not to spam it. So sir, एक हायरार्की फॉर्म हो जाती है कि जैसे कोई भी मेल आता है तो किसी को अगर वो इनअप्रोप्रिएट लगता है तो वो उसको स्पैम कर देता है। तो ऐसी एक कलेक्शन ऑफ डेटा होगा जो उसके उस फील्ड के अंदर सेटिस्फाई होगा। तो जैसे ही अगर ऐसे ही कोई मेल कोई किसी को भेज रहा होगा, तो क्योंकि हिस्टोरिकल डेटा से हमें पता चल सकता है कि वो डेटा पहले ही भी स्पैम हो चुका है, तो जो नया मेल आएगा वो खुद ही स्पैम में जाके ऑटोमेटिकली स्पैम में जाके रिपोर्ट हो जाएगा।
Okay, very good. Now, just change the context of the problem. We are talking about the words, we are talking about the IP address, we are talking about the pattern. But when we are dealing with the data stream, we are mostly deal with the information in bytes or bits. Now you have a certain bits information. Now you do not aware about the you have the word, but you have in the form of bits, and you are having a continuous stream of bit coming to you from different servers. Now we have to apply the filtering technique. So it is clear to everyone that filtering is identifying certain property from a given string. Now we'll look at how to identify the property from a given string. That is a one thing. And identification of the property is a important part when you are dealing with such kind of a problem. Because when you have identified a feature or property from a given data, it will give you opportunity to apply the features and property for your algorithms. For example, machine learning algorithm. You can analyze those properties, similarities, and based on similarity, you can perform the classification or prediction modeling. So we have to select the set element with property X. So we have to find out a set of element. So for example, set of element is here the tuple, as we have discussed when we are using the search engine query. So your search engine query can contain the information about the user's query or time. And now you have to identify certain properties for this tuple. For example, as we have Mohammed says that we can identify the IP address. IC says I can identify the word. So on the user we can identify the IP address is a one element. Certain set of a string of words is another element, and certain time. So you can also put on the time that normally spam email is generated on that particular time. So these can be properties, but not limited to only these. It depends on the problem, and it depends on the scenario also. So for the same problem, the properties can differ for different and two different reasons. So we have to identify the set of element with property X from a given string. So when we are able to identify that element, that is called a filtering of a string. So each element of data stream is a tuple, as we have discussed. So we are calling the element a tuple of a data set. Tuple is clear to everyone. It is a generally only collection of different data. Okay. We having the streamer tuple now processing millions of filters on the same stream. So this can create a memory problem. Now we'll proceed further, so it will be more clear to you. Now, when we are applying this email spam filtering, so if an email comes from one of these genuine email, it is not spam. So now here feature will be your genuine email. Now, how can you do that? One approach can be that you have to identify what are the genuine email. So first you have to identify that certain email is genuine email. Now you will convert that email to certain properties. For example, you can take the hash of those emails, or you can take the properties of that email as a hash. And now you will take the sample of data from the stream, and you will take their hashes. And based on the comparison similarity with the hashes, you can identify that certain degree of particular element of the stream is a genuine email or a not genuine email. Based on that, you can clarify that that particular stream element of the stream is a spam or not. So it's not approach which is going to provide 100% accuracy. That's why when you are seeing the spam emails, sometimes your genuine email will be classified as a spam email, and sometimes your spam email is classified as a genuine email. So it is also happened. But with the help of machine learning, Gmail server is getting advanced day by day. So they are learning that what are the spam email and what are not. So they are getting better in it, but still it is possible that based on the features of genuine email, you are able to identify certain property. Because when you are talking about a genuine email or a spam email, so if you compare the spam email to spam email, you will find out the dissimilarity between them. So it is not that they are similar to each other. Same thing when you are dealing with the genuine email, so they have some similarity but not exact similarity. So that will represent a problem of accuracy. So when you are developing and dealing with this that particular filtering the scheme, you have to be very much what are the accuracy of that particular system. Now, second problem is a public subscribe system. Guys, we'll discuss about the email spam filtering if we'll have time. So then we'll install some application which can process the live data stream. So we will analyze those information and work on it. Normally, you can use the Twitter to analyze the information, data stream and information and so on. But we'll see how can we do that in upcoming sessions if we'll have enough time after the completing the syllabus. Next example is a public subscribe system. So I will let this example to you. Please read this example and explain to the class so that we can get a better discussion on this problem. How can you filter a public subscription system? The problem is determine whether each message matches users' interest or not. Okay. Are you getting the problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, anyone want to explain it? Or so, guys, what is we are trying to do here? We are trying to find out the user interest. So suppose you go to some news website, you go to e-commerce website, you go to uh, certain educational website. So they will offer you subscription. Please subscribe to us. Please subscribe to us. Now, what happened? They are generating lot of messages. So, what is your interest? What is not for your interest? That should be the task of identifying. So, we have to identify whether each message is up to the interest of the users or not. So, you can have a collection of messages as a news article. So, these will be your messages. Now everyone is expressing their interest in certain masses. Now this will be your feature. What are their interest in a message? So now we'll talk about a feature which is incorporated in the message and that will relate it to your interest. Now it can be a set of keywords. It can be a pattern hidden inside the message. It can be another properties. that you can identify within the message and so on. So these set of, for example, these set of keyword can be your features. Now you have to identify this set of keywords by matching on the stream of data. You will take a sample stream of data, and now which information is matches to you, you will pass to the user. Otherwise, you will filter out of the reach of the user. Now you are generating a continuous stream of news articles, continuous stream of news articles. Now your system is identifying the certain article which is up to your interest. And how can you identify? By matching the set of keywords. So that is a very basic approach. You can make it a more advanced approach by identifying certain hidden pattern in the message. For example, you can also take apply some algorithm within the keywords so that you can get a better match. Suppose I have an interest about the cricket, so I will subscribe for the cricket messages. So it is also possible that a person which is having an interest in the cricket match, they have a certain interest in the tennis, or they have a certain interest in the football. So it's not a fixed thing that a user will be only interested in the cricket for a whole time. Their interest can be changed, their requirement can be changed. So based on the information, so you can find out the similar keywords by using the core similarity, and you can identify those words based on the certain keyword. You can also provide the sub information sub articles which is matches to the user's intent. So what we are discussing here, that set of keyword is a very basic thing. You are having a set of words and you are matching that. You have to identify the similar keyword. You have to add and to generate the similar key set of keyword based on the uh, uh, basic set of keywords. So it's there are some certain algorithm in machine learning. By using that algorithm, you can generate new keyword. You can generate question papers. Suppose I have given some articles. So based using that algorithms, of course, we can generate the question paper which is similar to the base article. So that is another example of filtering the string. Now this is an example tech algorithms which we will discuss in the next session, how to filter the bit stream by using the certain information. Okay, guys. So that's all for the today lecture. If you have any question answer, you can unmute your mic or you can use the chat box. I am stopping the recording session. Thank you.